It's the Loving Spoonfuls Grandmother's Day Special, starring your mother-loving host, David Gale. Welcome to an hour of fabulous food, fun, laughter, and tears with outrageous grannies, their sons, their daughters, and special guest, the Queen of England. There'll be singing, dancing, and delightful delicacies from around the world. Come, join the party as we celebrate Mother's Day in style.
Welcome to our Mother's Day special. The room is filled with mothers, mothers and daughters, mothers and mothers. I am actually the only person in the room right now who is not a mother, but we want to introduce everybody. I'm going to start with my mother. Happy Mother's Day. This is Ruthy, and this is Kathy Palumbo, and this is her daughter, Susan, who's a mother, and this is Maria Angelica, Chilean grandmother, and her daughter, who's also a mother, and Gabriela. Here's all the mothers together. Isn't that nice? I tell you, my estrogen is flowing. I don't know why, but And what are you making for Mother's Day?
Chilean empanadas.
Empanadas.
We are going to chop the onions.
Chop the onions.
The onions, yes.
Okay, do you have to chop some onions, Mom?
I sure do. I'm cooking a savory noodle kugel.
Kugel? And that's Jewish cooking.
That is.
So you've taken 2 onions and you're going to fry them up.
I really like onions, so I use more than normal.
Okay, well, I'm going to come back to you in a second.
Okay.
And what are you going to make?
I'm going to make some Sicilian casadette.
Huh?
Casadette.
Casadede?
Right.
What does that mean?
Casadette.
I don't know. I don't know what a casadede is.
No.
The house of the dead? What? Casadede? What?
I'm going to put 3 cups of flour and a 1/4 cup of sugar.
And you're making a dough.
Now I put a 1/4 cup of oil and 1/2 cup of milk.
What sort of mother was Kathy?
She was really, really strict, and she's kind of a little bit crazy.
Strict and crazy.
I was really, really hard work, and I have to keep my kids straight. Otherwise, I will kill them.
She said, if you're not home at 10 o'clock, I'm going to kill you.
So I'm going to put a little bit of water.
It's too dry?
One time I had a daughter, she was a wild kid. You know, I couldn't take it anymore. So one time she came at 3 o'clock in the morning. I went upstairs and I took a rope. I said, I'm gonna tie it up her on the bed.
You're gonna tie her to the bed? I don't think this is actually legal in this country.
I know.
It is, but they have to be consenting adults.
So I took the rope, I went upstairs and I forget about it, you know?
So you didn't tie her up.
Oh,
now that story was so impressive that Maria Angelica is crying from it. Look at her.
I told you, but I have something for you.
You have something?
Maybe I can help me with this. This is the best for the onion.
Maria Angelica's cutting onions. Okay, so you cut the onions, and then you go deep sea diving. Did Maria Angelica do crazy things like this when you were younger?
Tell the truth.
I think we learned when we were very little, you know, that she's a very brave person, you know. She did a lot. You know, we had to move from one country to another country, different language, different education, no family, nothing. There's nobody there. And then my father passed away. So we had to somehow or another, you know, support
Stick
her.
together.
No, support her,
yeah.
you know. We don't want to make her feel bad, you know, so we always called her, make sure we were fine.
Good kid.
Good kids.
Really? Okay, we are going to fry the onions.
And I'm going to cut the meat.
Okay, and what type of meat is this?
Boneless blade eye.
Okay, so you're cutting up the meat, you're frying the onions.
Yes. Special occasion.
Absolutely. You've taken the dough and you kneaded it until it came into this shape.
You roll it like that, you cut it,
Into little pieces.
yeah, you make a ball.
What are you making, little pancakes there?
Yeah, that's a ricotta.
Ricotta?
And I put a 1/4 cup of sugar.
1/4 cup of sugar and
And I
ricotta and
mix
mixed it up.
Right.
Okay.
You can't put it too much because when you fry, the ricotta gonna come out.
You don't want that.
No.
And if you get upset with the ricotta come out, what would you say?
Are you saying that you have a foul mouth?
Yeah.
You like to swear?
Yeah. And you mess up with
And that was the good stuff.
Mother, cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Thank you.
What's the next step?
Cook the noodles.
Should I just plop them in?
Just plop them
Okay. So, what are those noodles?
They're called noodles.
No, Kathy, come here. You know noodles, don't you? You're Italian. What would you call those noodles?
Rotine.
Rotini noodle?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess I don't speak noodles very well.
Okay, what happens with these noodles?
Cook them for 4 minutes and drain them.
You gonna watch the pot?
I'm going to watch the pot.
It's easier to watch the pot than it was for me to watch you jump out of an airplane. Let me just say.
It was something I have wanted to do for a very long time, so I did it.
Did you think it was easy on your family?
I guess I had
Did you take us into consideration at all, Mother?
I suppose I didn't.
Thank you.
So let's continue on doing that. You roll them. This is a dough that you made, and inside you put in ricotta and sugar. So have you inherited things from your mother?
Oh, yeah. She's same manja cake like you.
Now, you know what? We had this manja cake conversation last time. What does a manja cake mean? Somebody who eats cake.
That's it.
That's it?
You know, they call us a wop.
Oh, wow.
We call them a manja cake.
Okay.
It's an insult.
It's an insult.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll agree. I won't call you a wop, and you won't call me a manja cake. Oh, my goodness. What did you think about Mother's Day when you first came here?
It was not same like it before. Now it's the same like a business. Before, you just to give a rose to the mother, a pair of slipper. Now, my kids, they buy a house from me.
You got a house for Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Mom? I love it, but it's a cable show. All right, so you've boiled these noodles for 4 minutes. Did you celebrate Mother's Day when you were growing up, when you were a kid? Mother's Day for me was 3 generations of mothers, because I had my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, and 2 grandmothers on one side. And my father sometimes was a mother. That's another story. How's everybody over there?
We're groovy.
Yeah, you're groovy. You're just 60s babes, aren't you?
Right on, baby.
Right on, David.
You have to put in eggs, 4 eggs.
4 eggs and 1 package of cooked noodles.
Maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Then I love using fresh cracked pepper. About a teaspoon of baking powder. The onions.
The onions are fried.
I have to put in a 1/2 cup of the liquid from the cooking. Just bong it in there now.
Bong it. This is a hot pan. So you put it in the oven first?
Put it in the oven at 375.
Oh, look at that. That is a Lokshan Kugel, or a noodle pudding.
You can use sesame seeds and or poppy seeds and just kind of sprinkle them over the top.
That's great. And that goes in the oven?
Ready to go
That's
in.
done. You are done. Done like dinner. Thank you very much. The onions are fried, and now you fry the carne frito. Now, how do you say Happy Mother's Day in Spanish?
Feliz Día de la Madre.
Feliz Día de la Madre.
Eso es.
Oh my goodness. I just have to stick my tongue out and I'd be
Feliz
Feliz
Día de la Madre.
Día de la Madre.
Yes, exactly.
Happy Day of the Mother.
Yes. This is the cumin.
Cumin, put a teaspoon.
Oregano.
Oregano.
Smells so good, no? Put the oregano. And salt. Okay, we put a teaspoon of paprika.
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 These were olives.
Olives.
And now you're putting in something strange. Raisins.
Raisins.
And how do you say that in Spanish?
Pasas.
Pasas?
And I'm going to add the onion.
The onions?
Yes.
Okay.
This is called the pino, and usually this is done the night before, and you let it set, so then it absorbs all the juices.
And while you're doing that,
I'm gonna make the dough.
okay. I've seen you made a little volcano here.
Exactly. So there's about 8 cups of flour in here, and I'm just melting 1 spoonful of vegetable shortening for every cup of flour.
So we need 8 tablespoons of shortening.
And I put also about 1/2 cup of
Chicken stock?
chicken broth and about 2.5 cups of water.
Now we've got the oil heated up here, ready to do some fried dough.
Casadere.
Casadere, right. What's the most extreme thing your mother has ever done?
The time she pulled a rifle out on my father, that was probably pretty extreme.
Wow, you must have been really tough.
Can I tell them the story? When they were married, My father was having, I guess, an extramarital affair. She got a little bit angry, so she took out his hunting rifle and she went to shoot him. I mean, she was actually going to shoot him, but there weren't any bullets in the rifle, so he lived to tell the tale.
No, there was a bullet in it, but I didn't know how to work.
Oh.
Ah, see, there you go. It's a good thing. All right. Well, you fry that. This is a dough that you made, and inside you put in ricotta and sugar.
Yeah.
Notice how I haven't done anything for this Mother's Day? Because
I've
it's all the mothers.
noticed. I've noticed.
Oh, we've made the dough here. And we have here 8 cups of flour and then 8 tablespoons of shortening that we melted in with some chicken stock and some water. And then we kneaded it all together until it made this beautiful dough. Yeah. Okay, take a spoonful with all the lovely ingredients. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you put it in the middle. Then you
Perfect.
take a quarter of an egg, and you just
You see this, ladies? Come take a look. Come on, mothers, for Mother's Day. Look at this.
you put it there like that,
Yeah.
in there. Then you take some warm water and salt, and you put it halfway around. You fold it over right on top.
Yeah? Yeah,
You
fold it up
on
the sides, yeah.
like that, and then you press it
Tuck
here.
it in, little pocket.
Give it a nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
And then to take the air out, we're going to take a fork after.
Can you prick it? You know what? I think to celebrate this, that we're done, we're going to all have a little bit of a taste of yours. Put some icing sugar on it. That looks great. And how long do you bake these for?
The first part, 375 for 12 minutes, and then afterwards, you cook it for 325 for 14 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, come on. Let's all take one here. Enjoy. We have to say to all of you wonderful mothers who shared this with me today, Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Feliz Día de la Madre.
You're the best mom that anybody could ever have. And I don't know how to ever thank you for what you did for me. And I love you with all my heart.
Was growing up with Andrea always a series of questions and answers?
Yeah.
Yeah? Were you always tested on things?
Oh yeah.
Was it difficult sometimes?
Oh yeah.
We have more mothers here for Mother's Day. Mothers and daughters and son. And we have here my grandmother from the Azores, the beautiful Lucia Nunez, who's not crazy, and her son Paulino. And here we have Françoise Bradet Nimbly and her daughter Frances. Hello, 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 hello. And over here we have Andrea Vincent, my Hungarian grandmother, and her granddaughter Vicky. Well, we're going to start over here. We're going to start over here with Lucia. What are you making for us today?
Sopas do Espírito Santo.
Sopas do Espírito Santo. Soup of the sainted spirit. And what goes into that?
The meat.
What kind of meat is this?
Cow.
Cow, good. Tell me something. Did you celebrate Mother's Day in the Azores?
Oh, yes.
Yes?
They go to the church, they have a festival, they have a good meal, you know.
What's Mother's Day in Portuguese?
Dia de Santificado.
Dio Santificat?
Dia Santificado.
Happy Mother's Day. All right. Oh, what do we have here? Françoise.
Oui, blue potatoes.
Blue potatoes?
Oui. That's cooked with blueberries.
Potatoes with blueberries?
Yes, and it's delicious.
Is it sweet?
No, blueberry, that's not sweet.
Sour.
No, it's just...
Blue.
First, we peel the potatoes.
You start your potato peeling, okay? And Andrea. Andrea
hello.
Vincent. How lovely to be able to cook together with your granddaughter. What are you making for us?
I'm making apricot dumplings. This is a dessert. You start it by kneading together cottage cheese and flour.
200 grams of cottage cheese. Have you cooked with your grandmother before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
2 eggs.
Do you like helping your grandmother?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not quite convinced here.
She kind of has control of the kitchen.
And then what you do is you put it up to your tongue and you taste to make sure it's not
This?
bitter. Not that. That. Doesn't matter. It's not disgusting.
You want me to put it up to my tongue?
Nah. Is it bitter? No?
No. Should I do both ends?
Yeah.
No, it's not bitter at all. Should I cut these pieces off now? The end pieces?
And now I'll put in 2 ounces of butter and a little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt. What is this? What is this
It's
called?
a wooden spoon.
What's this called in
Believe
Hungarian?
me, fokonal.
Excuse me?
Fokonal.
Bacchanal.
It means wooden spoon.
Say it again?
Wooden spoon. Don't intimate that I said something else.
I would never, ever do that. So,
This is 8-ounce flour.
8 ounces of flour.
Yes, and then we'll knead it.
Okay.
We need to knead it.
You need to knead it. Oh my goodness, so we've taken those potatoes that we just started you peeling, we boiled them really fast, cooked them, multiplied them into how many potatoes?
About 5 pounds.
5 pounds of potatoes. How much butter have you added to this?
Oh,
as much as you need.
Yes.
How do you say Mother's Day en français?
Bonne fête.
Bonne fête.
Maman.
Mama. Bonne fête, mama. All right, and where we have here big chunks of cow. So now how long does that have to cook for?
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half there.
You don't help me.
I like to help you.
Okay.
Did I help you last time?
You remember?
I do.
Oh, we know Espírito Santo, vai lá fora, Espírito Santo, vai lá fora, I have to make a doll.
A doll?
Yeah.
We're going to do some crafts here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just put this like that.
Okay, start with a little garlic.
Jamaica.
Jamaican allspice.
Jamaican allspice. Cinnamon. And then...
So.
It looks just like me.
Push.
It's dead. Does it need a hat?
Oh yeah, you can make a hat.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, so that is going to go in with the meat?
Yeah.
All right, so now you're going to chop some vegetables. So we put it in here with the meat, and it's boiling away. So we're back to Françoise and Francis, or Francis and Francis, or Françoise and Françoise. So you put in about 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're used to cooking with many people in the kitchen. Because when we cooked with you, we cooked with your 2 sisters, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that was a lovely celebration. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, gentille plumerie. And I heard that one of your sisters has passed away.
Yeah.
But we have this loving memory, don't we?
Oh, yes. And then we had the onions.
Yeah. And that's 1 onion chopped up?
Yes.
And wait, now you're going to go crazy and you're going to put blueberries in with onions. It's not allowed.
We're going to use the wild blueberries that I picked myself.
Yeah. Was she a wild mother?
Well, she was avant-garde.
Avant-garde?
Yeah.
Did you think she was a little bit...
Sometimes, yeah.
About 2 cups of blueberries?
Yes.
And you're going to fry that up now?
Yes.
Purple onions.
Now we're going to put in 3 eggs.
3 eggs and 5 pounds of potatoes.
And you can add a bit of pepper. And I'll add a bit of salt. The nutmeg.
Some nutmeg. Was she a good daughter?
Yeah, she's good.
Any trouble ever?
And she's getting better all the time.
Well, that leads me to believe...
I used to run away sometimes.
Used to run away? But she's better now? She doesn't run away from home anymore?
Oh, I know. Get away from home now. She wants me to run
You're
away.
there forever. Oh, yeah, that's good. I think Andrea needs a little bit of that.
Very good. We celebrated always by giving flowers to our mother, or cherries or something. We had a big cherry tree in our backyard, and I would climb to the highest point and pick all the cherries and put them in a nice bowl and present them to her on that morning.
We're making apricot dumplings, correct? And how do we say that in Hungarian?
Sárga barack gombóc, or you can just say barack gombóc.
Barack gombóc.
Take a knife.
Yes.
And I make a slit, okay?
Yeah.
And I open it up, and I take out the pit, and instead put a lump of sugar, and I press it together. And there's your doctor. Apricots.
Oh,
I didn't tell you how you say Mother's Day in Hungarian. Anyák napja.
Anyák napja. Everyone? Anyák napja.
You're making good Hungarians of all of us.
Yeah, and that's my job. So this is the meat that we've taken and we've boiled with the dolly. It was cooked on the stove for about an hour and a half, and now it's been in the oven for...
About 2 hours.
So it really cooks a long time for this.
I know.
When you take it off the stove, you need to put the broth aside, and then you put more water in.
Because the broth is going to be used later on for the special dish. Okay, so you put some hot peppers. And this is red wine.
Wine, 1 cup.
Is it good?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I have to see if the wine is good.
So you don't have...
Would you like to taste it? It's very good.
I don't know.
Now
Shall I know?
It's good.
Yeah. It's good. I think we should pass it down here. Come on. Yes. I think Andrea needs a little bit of that. She's probably never had anything so delicate.
You know.
Very good. This is the dough.
This is the dough, and it's been sitting there for at least a half an hour.
Why am I cutting this into 4? What do you think? Because I'm going to make how many dumplings?
4?
16.
Oh, of course. That's why you're cutting it to 4, because you're going to make 16. Was growing up with Andrea always a series of questions and answers?
Yeah.
Yeah? Were you always tested on things?
Oh, yeah.
Was it difficult sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
So are you talking about me?
Yeah, just like you're not here, Andrea.
Cutting it into 4, okay? Now, take an apricot.
Yes.
Lay it in the center.
Yes.
And pull the corners up.
Uh-huh. Just like that.
And then you just press together. And then we just go like this. And it's a beautiful dumpling. See?
Yeah. Can you juggle?
They're gonna fall apart.
Okay, I'll put them down. I see what you mean. All right, where are we here? Oh, what are you doing? Okay, now you've mixed up the blueberries and the potatoes together with the onions, 3 eggs, pepper and salt and butter and milk and nutmeg. And is there a difference between like French mothers and English mothers, do you think? No?
No,
Well,
similar.
English
Still.
mothers don't shake their heads like this, so. I think that's one thing. And you're gonna put it into this buttered pan, and now we're gonna add this au gratin top, which is the cheese and
The crumbs.
the breadcrumbs. And how much cheese is that? This much?
Yeah, oh, it goes in the oven after.
Baked?
Au
that's good.
gratin.
Au gratin. In France, that means with cheese. So we've taken bread, and we have to butter it.
A little butter.
Okay.
And we need mint.
Mint. Okay, so you're going to layer this? How many layers are you going to do?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 layers? Oh my goodness. So that's the broth that we cooked the beef in, and it soaks it all up.
This is soft.
Soft now?
Yeah, you want to get the bread nice and soft.
And the beef goes on top of this?
The beef goes on the side.
On the side. So we're almost ready. What are you doing, Andrea?
I'm putting butter and
Yes.
breadcrumbs and sugar in here.
And the dumplings cook in the boiling water for 10 minutes, and when they're done, the dumplings go right into here right away.
From the pot into the frying.
From the pot into the frying pan is exactly how I feel right now. We take them out and we roll them around in this beautiful mixture, and I can hardly wait to taste all this stuff, but we have more grandmothers and more mothers and more Mother's Day. So how do you say thank you?
Obrigada.
Obrigada. Merci beaucoup. How do you say thank you?
Köszönöm.
Köszönöm.
Há tantos por esse mundo que estão só a sofrer.
Now you both have the same laugh too. Is it jeans? Like if I tickle you both?
I'm a crazy nut. As a mother, as a everything, I'm just a nut.
Well, we are here now with even more, if it's possible, mothers for Mother's Day. Grandmothers, sons, daughters, and I'm going to introduce them to you now. We have here Winnie Fields, my English grandmama, and her daughter, Janet. Hello.
Hello.
And over here we have Jessie Bonus, originally from Singapore, and her son, Gordon. And over here we have Gisela Wunsch, a grandmother originally from Germany. And over here, thought I'd forget you, huh? We have my father, originally from Winnipeg and still from Winnipeg. And beside him we have Her Royal Highness, the Queen Pimblet of Pimblets from Lancashire.
You're welcome.
And we are all going to cook, but we all couldn't possibly fit into this kitchen. So you are going to go and barbecue together. Is that true?
We're going outside together?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I can't wait. Into
All right.
the bushes. You, Queenie.
Oh, dear. Hands off, Dad.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Now, what are you going to start with, Gisela?
It's a soup, sort of.
A
dried
soup?
Fruit soup, yeah.
A dried fruit soup.
Fruit soup.
Fruit soup.
Fruit soup.
Yes. Look at that. Apricots and
Yeah.
apples and prunes. Okay, so we'll let that heat up a bit. All right?
Yeah.
How do you say Happy Mother's Day in German?
I don't know.
That's the perfect answer. See you later. And what are you making?
It's a hot pot. Most people have a roast on a Sunday.
Yeah.
There's some left over on Monday. You use your beef, and this is all it costs. Don't cost you sweet sod all, actually.
Don't cost you sweet sod all, I believe is what you just said.
I mean, I'm the kind of person, if you want to do it, get on with it. I don't give it, you know.
Give a what?
Whatever.
What? Give a what? I'm a cheeky bugger, aren't I?
You're a bloody cheeky bugger.
And this is leftover meat, huh?
I cooked the roast yesterday.
So, you know, this is a Mother's Day special we're doing today, and basically you're doing leftovers.
Yeah, well, that can be a Mother's Day special too, if she's not feeling all that.
Right, she doesn't have to cook very much.
No.
So you get the old roast.
Now, I'm going to carve. I carve different from the way you do.
How do I carve?
Well, I don't know, but most Canadians carve this way.
Yeah. Okay, you cut them into slices, and then we'll come back to you in a second. Oh my goodness, is that the way you cut your meat too?
If you carve it against the grain, it's easier to chew. You
So
don't get a chump in your mouth and have to swallow.
So you've done things against the grain?
Yeah, haven't you?
Don't look at me.
I don't know. I guess so.
Be honest.
What's your rule about drinking?
Can I have a little more? Jesus is my scotch, and he's rationing me. You're worse than my son.
Now, what are you making here for Mother's
I'm
Day?
making fish moly.
Fish moly? So Gordon's going to chop some onions there.
Slice some onions.
Slice some
There's
onions.
difference between chopping and slicing.
I know. Oh my goodness. It's just going to be the control freak episode here. You slice up those onions. We'll come back to you here. What's happening over here, Gisela?
I was just looking for some ladle of every, you call it with the holes in it?
A slotted spoon.
Slotted spoon.
Yes, it's not easy to say, is it? You didn't always have an easy time learning English, did you?
No.
But you manage very well with body language. You knew how to speak to your audience.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, what was your relationship like with your mother?
Oh, okay. Very good.
Okay or very good? Which one?
Very good.
When you were a little girl, it was during the war, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was she sometimes a difficult woman, your mother?
No, in the war she went to work though.
She went to work?
Yeah. And we were stealing corn.
Coal?
Yeah.
You would steal coal?
Yeah, from the train.
She would tell you to steal coal?
No, she did it though.
Oh, she did it?
Came home with it. My dad was in jail.
Oh. Why was your dad in jail?
I forgot. I don't know why, but she had to do everything.
Wait a second, your father was in jail and you were stealing coal from the trains so that you would have heat
and then we also went on the potato field and steal potatoes.
Well, it was the war.
Yeah.
All is fair in love and war, right?
Yeah, and in the daytime I went with my brother down the harbor and we stole fish.
Did you buy any of these ingredients?
No.
No. Oh dear. All right, so we've got 4 cups of flour.
Yeah.
Let's make the dumplings.
Yeah, a little bit salt in.
Yeah.
You know, they have to a little bit salz.
Salz.
Salz. Now I'm gonna put hot water in.
Hot water. So you've added 2 eggs there, 4 cups of flour, and about a cup of warm water, and a little bit of salt, and you're mixing it up now.
We've sliced 2 onions for 2 pounds of shrimp, shelled and deveined. We minced the garlic.
Okay, 6 cloves of garlic.
This is wild ginger.
About an inch of it?
Those go in there.
Yes.
All of this goes into the blender?
Yeah. And these are candle nuts.
Candle nuts?
Yeah.
It says never eat raw. Why is that?
If it says caution, never eat raw, not a snack, I think that we probably would die.
Then you have 2 stalks of lemongrass.
Lemongrass,
If you don't have lemongrass, just use the grind of a lemon. That's 1 teaspoon of turmeric.
Turmeric. You blend that. We're going to come back because I have to go and check the people on the barbecue. So don't do anything when I'm gone. And whatever you do, don't talk about me.
All right. Why not? Can you put
Are you going to bring back that sheet then?
Okay, hold on. Huh. goodness, I've just left a room full of grandmothers and mothers for Mother's Day, and I've come out here and I've got, of course, my dad and
your dear friend the Queen.
my dear friend the Queen. And we're going to do some outdoor cooking. So what are you going to make, Her Majesty?
Venison, my dear.
Venison?
Venison, absolutely marvellous. Venison chops.
And what are you making, Dad?
Salmon teriyaki.
So you've had these marinating already?
Marinating for a couple of hours in a teriyaki sauce with sesame seeds.
Now, I know you two have very different ways of cooking, right? Because you cook...
I cook low fat, low cholesterol.
And you cook...
Obviously, lots of fat, lots of cholesterol. Otherwise, you wouldn't get this lovely shapely figure.
Well, you have a royal appetite.
Oh, I certainly do. I love it.
What I'd like to do is cook it about 300, 350 degrees for about 10 minutes, not more than that.
Just like your mother used to do.
Oh, my mother used to burn everything.
Good, so that's there. What's in the marinade?
Obviously, a little oil. And this is oil I infuse myself.
With what?
With thyme.
Olive oil
Olive
infused
oil.
with thyme. I wish we had thyme. Soy sauce, red wine, balsamic
and a
vinegar.
little bit of HP sauce. Do you want some?
No, thank you.
So you're going to put that on there?
He's on right now.
Okay, and you're...
Just going to put a lot of pepper in there, and remember...
You keep your big thing away from me.
I put nothing on here. The secret is to grill them the way they are.
Oh, where's the salt one?
Okay, you know what? We can only hear one person at a time. So, Dad, you're putting the onions on there, and you're making your marinade. What's in it so far?
We got some fennel seed. We have some ground ginger. We are now going to put some mustard in there. A little bit of mustard, some HP sauce, a little bit of curry.
Now you're taking some cherry tomatoes and you're putting out there. You're mixing up the marinade.
Mix up. We got a little bit of the best.
Dad?
Yes.
Have you ever had any single malt whiskey out of the bottle?
You don't want your lips wet
after the Queen,
do you?
No.
David doesn't matter. They've probably been in the same place. Excuse me. Let's put a little bit in here, and there we are.
You know, he is a pretty raunchy queen.
Absolutely. And then I would put that onto my wonderful venison chop.
Okay.
You know, with the rings. Would you like one?
Did you bring a bowl specially for your rings?
I certainly did. We've got to be prepared, you know. There we are. And then we get right in there, and with my venison, I serve a lingonberry sauce. Okay. And I do it very similar to making a cranberry sauce at Christmas.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is fine for now. This is going to be on the grill.
I'm just going to turn this over.
You've got this. I want you to put this on.
A drink.
Cheers, Your Majesty.
Cheers. Who's this guy?
Somehow, this food is going to get done. This is going to get put on the grill. That's going to get flipped. All the vegetables are going to get turned.
I my sauce there.
Well, when are you going to have some wine?
I think you're starting to get sauced.
Very saucy.
Are you going to make the sauce?
Yes, absolutely.
What goes into your sauce?
Half a pound of sugar.
Half a pound of sugar in there. And how much lingonberries?
And there's at least 2 pounds of lingonberries.
So you've got your lingonberries in there. All right. This one is probably done, huh, Dad? These look beautiful. So now you're just chucking those on there?
Just chucking them
How
on.
long do they have to cook for?
Just a couple of minutes. Actually.
Couple of minutes?
Maybe 5 at the most.
Watch those
Like
tomatoes.
2.5 on each side?
Yes, on each side.
All right. And how long does this have to cook for, this sauce?
Once it comes up to the boil, it's almost ready.
So that's good. When the chops are going to be done, we're going to bring them out to you. And now I've got to go back to the ladies. So, see ya. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, they're doing great out there. Did you miss me?
I'm pining away.
Okay, now what do we have here?
Onions, hot pepper, and the curry leaves.
Curry leaves? I've never heard of this before.
And this.
What?
That's shrimp paste. It smells heavenly.
I don't want to go to your heaven.
Okay, so we'll take all this. Want me to teach you like my mother? My mother, if you don't do it the way she shows it to you.
Yes.
She whips you on them fingers.
With what?
With whatever is in
you don't have anything.
Oh. Now you're going to fry this up for a little while?
Yeah, fry it up until the smell is good, and then we'll...
I don't think that shrimp paste is ever going to smell good.
Wait, here it goes.
Right, be nice to each other now. Give each other a little Mother's Day kiss there.
Oh, blood giant kid.
That's so nice. What did you call him?
I called him the blood giant kid.
What's that mean?
That's the shrimp
Smelly.
paste.
Oh, dear. Call him Smelly Shrimp Child. Okay. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Had a layer of roast beef, day old, and onions, and now you're going to put the potatoes on. Very nice. And how about another Mother's Day?
Mwah.
That was nice.
I'm not your mother, but
Okay, so now we're gonna have the jumping for the dumplings here.
Yes.
And all that's in there is flour, eggs, salt, and hot water. And then you're just taking the dumplings and just dropping them in there. And how long do they have to cook for?
Not long. When they come up, then they're done.
Oh, okay, now we've had a whole layer of roast beef and onions and potatoes, and I'm seeing a theme here. You're a pretty famous lady, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
Come.
Well, they've written plays about you, and...
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Janet plays me.
And Janet plays you in the show, and there's songs about you in the show, aren't there?
Yes.
There's a light in Winnie's window, and it's shining just for me. Welcome home to family.
That was beautiful, but my favorite part of the song was you're singing away beautiful dulcet tones, and your mother's going... I lost the knife. Where's the beef? Yeah, now you both have the same laugh too.
Genetic.
Is it genes? Like if I tickle you both? I shouldn't do it when you have a knife in your hand. That looks amazing. And now you're going to put in wild ginger, garlic, lemongrass, turmeric, and candle nuts, and salt and pepper, and you blend it all up. Ooh, it's just delicious smelling.
You pour in your coconut milk, a can or two.
Or you can make your own coconut milk, can't you? You'd actually have to take the coconut and go underneath it and try and milk it.
You could. I could. The nuts are too hard.
Okay, we won't go there.
And then once it's really boiling, you add the shrimp.
So we've dropped the dough into the water, and the dumplings have come up there. The sponges are floating to the top of the surface. That means they're ready. Your fruit soup has to be thickened. What is this in here?
Cornstarch.
Cornstarch and water?
Yeah. And then we put the dumplings in there.
So you put the dumplings in? So the dumplings are in the soup, and now you've got one last layer of yours, right? What has to happen here? Beef stock? A couple cups?
Yep.
Yeah?
This is some of the gravy left from the roast.
Perfect,
So
perfect.
this is a gourmet dish.
And how long does this go into the oven for?
For an hour.
And about an hour at what temperature?
350 for about half an hour, and then 325.
So we've got your dumplings and your fruit soup, and it smells wonderful here, but I can't leave without having a little bit of it. We'll see you back soon.
I really would like to enjoy life and have plenty of do-re-mi-fa and enjoy life to the fullest. That's my greatest wish. With a man in it.
Give my regards to Bobby, to Omanona and Grandmare. Well, we've expanded the number of mothers now, and we have a room full of mothers and grandmothers to celebrate Mother's Day together. We've amassed them from the four corners of the world, and we're going to celebrate together Mother's Day, and we're going to do it in the best way we know how, and that is through food. Let's eat! Please, please, please take food. Do you have something to get to eat there, darling? Yes, I have. Good. Oh, you're cutting the empanadas. I want to have one right now.
Very good, Dave.
Do you make that borrecos?
Did you see my granddaughter?
This is the best sauce in the whole table.
Good. Oh, you're hungry. Take a whole piece. Don't be shy. Tell me what Mother's Day means to you, Jessie.
All my grandchildren and my children, and I get so many presents.
What does Mother's Day mean to you?
Mother's Day just means love, a lot of love.
Did you enjoy the food today?
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
awesome. I've had a bit of everything. Now, don't ask me what it is, because I don't know one thing or another. But blimey, it's good.
Yes.
It is good.
Good.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Kathy Kathy P. from Italy. She says she's the best of them all. She cooks and bakes for manja cakes and never gets tired at all. Nonna Kathy speaks her mind just like she's driving a truck. And if you don't agree with her, she'll tell you she don't give a puck. I said puck. She comes from the Azores. Paulino she adores. Crazy Lucia. Crazy Lucia. Jeffrey looks like the queen, up, down, and in between. God shave the queen. Would you do me the honor of dancing with me? Together we waltz. I don't mind the schmaltz. You're Hungarian.
Mais oui.
In my heart you've won.
Mais oui.
Mrs. Vincent, I plead. Won't you let me lead? I love how we dance. Now's our chance to make magic. Yes, indeed. Now it may seem like I am done, but there were grandmas still unsung. And don't you think it would be fun if I could name them all? There's Jessie, Sam, and Eddie Cole, Louisa, Paul, and Mahasine, Giselle Boudreau, Elma Lobo, Ida Ducado, Annette Maria, Dorothy Betts. I wore Mary Jackson's dress, Anne Litwin and Evelyn Coop, Sophie made a chicken soup, Hilda Kay and Elena Taroni, JFK, hey, married Yvonne Kennedy. Now there you have all 26, no favorites, they're all first picks. You may think I'm out of tricks, but wait! We've got a surprise! Loving dandy, I kiss my mother every day. A real